Smoothie thing?
Yes, it's in here. Sorry. I didn't realize there was water in it.
It's okay.
Scary hand.
Scary? Oh no. That's not good.
Well, when it's that close to the camera, it gets very large. Morning. Been watching, hoping not to miss book club. Oh, hey Tiffany, how are you? Good morning, Ashley. We're just making coffee first. Coffee, coffee, coffee. Hey Shelly. Hey Christy. Always coffee first, that's right. You are correct, Amundo. Always coffee first. But first, coffee. Oh, you okay? What happened? Sad. Halloween slimes are looking amazing. Thank you. I've had a lot of fun making them. I'm glad you guys like them. Morning, Renee. Morning, Abby. By the way, I went ahead and ordered the... Oh, good, Christy. Good, good, good. Might as well, right? Hey, Becca. Peanut butter smoothie. I am not a bot. You know, methinks the lady doth protest too much. Because nobody accused you of being a bot. So, that's weird.
I say that all the time.
You do? You're just like, I am not a bot. Oh, okay. Well, same. I am also not a bot. Taste your own medicine. You just said you say it all the time.
You gotta be told that.
Oh, I see. Huh, interesting. I hadn't really made the connection, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess if you're a bot, a lot of connections are hard.
Yeah, no, unless you're a bot.
Right.
I ain't getting out of that. Or are you?
Well, I'm not.
Yeah, no, that's what you say.
Right, that's what a bot would say. Morning, Cindy. Ma'am, did you get your Christmas surprise? No, we had a package, but it wasn't that, Becca. We had a package and it was the thing for our wall. So maybe there's another package in downstairs, but I don't know. Surprise, apparently.
Is it a glitter bomb? And if it is, why?
Is it a glitter bomb? And if it is, he wants to know why. I said that since you ignored me, but it's fine. What? I'm so confused. Shelly is a bot. That seems super weird, all things considered. She doesn't look like a bot. Weird. I don't know, man. It's all strange to me.
We'll all be bots eventually.
You think so?
It's the way of the world.
Bummer.
Yeah.
Not super looking forward to that if we're being 100% honest with one another. Look, I made you a coffee.
Yeah, tried it. Thank you.
It's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
I made it just for you.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Becca said, oh, I'm sorry, I thought that you would like glitter. No?
share.
To you, specifically.
I mean, you know, I don't know how I came off that vibe. If I'm being totally honest.
Christy, I'm not sure. I'll have to look. I haven't looked yet this morning, Christy. That is a great question, though. Very excited to see you
Mm-hmm.
I need to go to party today.
That's it?
Yeah.
What time do you want to go at?
I'm sorry, I hadn't gotten that far actually. Because we're gonna do what do you call it during lunch.
Oh, that's right.
So I'll have to go
Totally
probably
forgot.
after. I'll probably go after. So that I can have time to pack more stuff.
We're gonna have to do some stretching.
Yeah. Me too, Christy, me too. I need so much more coffee. Please get so much more coffee. I am making my coffee right now. Huh. Coffee time. She said, I mean, he seems to like you and your glitter and rainbows, so... Oh.
But is she? Would you describe her as a glitter bomb?
Oh. Them's the breaks.
Yeah. Are you?
I don't-
Are you a glitter bomb?
Coffee, but I have so much iced tea this morning because caffeine. Fair. She said, yes, she would describe me as a glitter bomb.
Well, I guess we have to open a glitter bomb in our house then.
And then other people are agreeing, yes, totally a glitter bomb. Wow. I'm a glitter bomb, babe.
As a glitter bomb, do you find that accurate? Do you think you're a glitter bomb?
Becca said a slime bomb full of glitter.
Okay, what?
A little more.
Would you describe yourself as a slime?
Would I describe myself as a slime? Have I made you use my slime filter that picks what slime you are? You have. And, oh, we should do that later. Just for fun. I personally believe myself to be a decorative clear slime.
What did the slime filter say?
I don't remember. Have you all used my slime filter?
Is this new?
No, I've had it for about
the
a
one
year.
your brother made?
Yeah, you used that, right?
No.
Oh,
You told me about it.
yeah.
And I listened.
Thank you, I appreciate that. I do have a slime filter, yeah. It tells you what kind of slime you are. Yeah, what kind of slime are you guys? For those of you who have used it. That makes sense, Cindy. It's on my page, but also you can just probably search slime under filters, I would guess. Boop. It's a very sunny day today. Your comment got filtered. Were you a Glick and Thossie? Is that why? Is that why? Hi, Grace. Coffee. Said, oh, I see. Yeah, it's a filter that just tells you what kind of slime you are. That is all. All right. So, good morning. This is definitely a body double live for me. Plants have hard math. Whoa. Not feeling great, so cheese is what's for breakfast. That makes sense. My hair looks like I've been through something. I haven't, but it's what it looks like. Probably because it was braided yesterday and then I took it out and slept with it not braided, which was a poor decision on my part. I can't remember since it was so long. Did the sports win? The sports lost. The sports lost. Okay. Let's get into it. Jessica. To enhance thy beauty in his eyes, serve him garlic. Sad sports ball. Sorry, sports. Sorry, sports. Babe, everybody is saying sorry for sports yesterday.
Sports were bad yesterday.
I know, they're saying they're sorry.
How do they know?
They asked me if sports won, and I said sports lost.
I appreciate the sentiment.
Okay, great. He appreciates the sentiment. He is not a Vikings fan. Amanda loves football, and she said, at least you're not a Vikings fan.
Yeah, that would be hellish.
He said that would be hellish. Last night, we were rooting for the Rams, not because he's a Rams fan, but because they're LA and we're LA. So it seemed like the right thing to do, but they lost. I look like I'm getting old. Not good. They did, Liz. That's true. I like that, Cindy. I need to get my nails redone. They're growing out really badly. Okay. Jessica, present day. Walking around train tracks in the semi-darkness looking for wolves was not my idea of a fun night out. But when Derek reminded me of the window in my office that was stuck open, the one that Pi used to get in and out of my shop, and how much a cat would look like prey to a wolf, I agreed to a short walk along the tracks. Not that I thought Pi was in actually any danger, especially given that he was currently trapped in a box in Derek's rental car. I didn't believe there was a wolf, and if there was, I knew that Pi could take care of himself. I'd once seen him defend himself against an entire pack of raccoons, but it never hurt to be sure. Fortunately, there was no sign of wolf paw prints, something Derek was apparently an expert in. So, are you going to call them? I asked him as I used the flashlight on my phone to pick my way through the rocks and weeds back to where he'd parked at the West Harbor train station, designed to look like a quaint colonial farmhouse, even though thousands of commuters used it every day to get to and from the city. Call who? Whoa, it's very blueberry today.
It's really not though. Just
looks like it
color.
is.
Yeah. There's way more strawberries and stuff.
Yeah,
Not
but the strawberries are white.
Not strawberries. Watermelon.
Oh. Watermelon doesn't really color things unless it's on its own, does it?
No. Either way.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy.
Thank you. Call who? Your supervisors or whoever, and tell them the wolf and Rosalie and the Harvest Princess thing? Oh. He was using the flashlight on his own phone to scan the brush on the other side of the tracks. He hadn't said what exactly we were going to do if we found the wolf. Call animal control? Cast it under a spell? Really unclear. What was clear, however, was that he was sticking close to my side in case the wolf did reappear. That kind of old-fashioned chivalry was definitely something that had been lacking in the guys that I'd met through dating apps. I might, but I think Esther's right about the Harvest Princess thing. It's only a beauty pageant, he continued. Harmless, really. When I snorted in response, he glanced my way. You think I'm wrong? Beauty pageants are never harmless, especially a beauty pageant run by Rosalie Hopkins. Free cookies aside, I think she's up to something. The timing is a little concerning, he agreed. Especially with it being the same night as the Hunter's Moon. I shivered involuntarily. Would you please stop calling it that? Why, that's what it's called. The Hunter's Moon symbolizes abundance, a time when people celebrate the harvest and all that they've reaped and they prepare for the change that's... Okay, now you're just creeping me out. How can that creep you out? You're a witch. I'm a cottage witch, I reminded him. I make things look nicer and people feel better about themselves. I don't mess around with reapings or wolves. I think you underestimate yourself. Even though it was so dark, I saw his eyes flash at me, just for a moment, almost as intently as the few stars that were winking above. And then he said, watch out for that gravel there, and reached out to take my wrist and guide me over the deadly gravel. I wouldn't want you to turn your ankle in those boots. Yeah, thanks. My voice was as unsteady as my feet since I was still a bit shaken by the compliment and zing of my heart at the feeling of, and the zing of my heartstrings, wink wink to the Judy Garland fans, at the feeling of his fingers, although this time he was touching me through the fabric of my coat, and I knew that the sensation was all in my head. Next time we go tracking a wild animal, I'll try to dress more appropriately. Well, at least just don't wear such high heels. I don't think we're going to find anything out here. Derek looked out across the darkness surrounding the train tracks and heaved a sigh. The temperature had fallen since the sun had set, so his breath fogged up in front of him. We should probably call it a night and head home. Sounds good to me, I said. I'd been yearning for a hot shower and a glass of wine for hours, and maybe a little something more. Do you want to stop for something to eat along the way? My friend Dinah asked us to join her and her boyfriend Mark at his family's restaurant. What Dinah's most recent text actually said was, her name in the text somehow is Legal Beagle, not Dinah. Get over here. The special tonight is Branzino and it's selling out fast, but Mark says that he can hold some for you and your fake boyfriend if you can get here by 9. I'm not sure going out is the best idea, especially given that your cat is in a box in my front seat, he said. Yeah, you're right. Was he really worried about pie, or was this a sex invite? It had been a long time since I'd made it to the sex stage of a relationship with a guy. Usually we didn't make it past the getting to know you coffees because it became so glaringly obvious that one of us had lied on our dating profile. Me. It was always me. About not being a witch. I was always lying about not being a witch. I have some lasagna at home that I can heat up, I offered, from Sunday night. Mama Giovanni always makes sure I go home with some in addition to her gravy. Yeah, that sounds good, he said. Yes, it did sound good. So good that the idea of those lips and fingers So did the idea of those lips and fingers of his on my naked body, which was exactly how we found ourselves a little while later back at my place after me having texted Dinah. Nix the Branzino. Fake boyfriend wants to stay in. Her reply was a classic Dinah. Legal Beagle. Woo, girl, ride that train. Yum, lasagna and gravy. No gravy. It's called sauce. It's called sauce. 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 Only hooligans call it gravy. The world works in funny ways. If you told me a week ago that I'd be getting dinner ready for myself and a fake witch boyfriend, I'd have fallen over laughing at you. But here I was, the height of domesticity, giving Derek a tour of the upstairs of my house as Mama Giovanni's lasagna warmed up in the oven. I said the height of domesticity just because I'm a cottage witch. Doesn't mean I can actually cook. So this is my parents' old bedroom, I said, flicking on the light. You're welcome to stay in here, but you might find it a little crowded. That's because even though the second floor bedroom was huge, I converted it instead to a sewing room since the thought of banging guys in my parents' bedroom was deeply unsexy. Now, in addition to the floor-to-ceiling shelves where my dad had once kept his non-fiction World War II books, I now stored containers of all my best buttons, lace, elastic, ribbons, thread, and the room contained my sewing machine and a half-dozen dressmaker's dummies, each garbed in a nearly finished gown that I'd intended to deliver to its owners sometime later this week. Wait, are they saying that red sauce is gravy? Yeah, Grace, did you not know that that's like a Northeast hooligan thing to do? Like people in Jersey and Connecticut who suck call it gravy? It's true. It's a real thing. Yeah. I was so confused why they had gravy until now. They do, Cinny. They do. It's awful. I didn't say all of the Northeast. I said hooligans in Connecticut and New Jersey. That's what I said. The hooligans. Just the hooligans. My grandparents are from New York. They didn't do that. Anyone with sense doesn't call it that. And if you call it that in front of a real Italian in Italy, they'll look at you like you're freaking crazy. It's not gravy. They'd be like, what the F? The sofa folds out into a bed, I said as Derek stared skeptically into the chaotic sea of pale pinks, purples, and black sequins. It's really comfortable. I sleep on it when my parents come back into town to visit. Thanks, he said, looking dubious. But the couch downstairs is just fine. You don't know anyone? That's funny. Gravy is not the same as sauce. I agree. Wholeheartedly. Ouch. I could see that I'd made a strategic error by showing him this room first, but I hadn't wanted to seem too eager. Or there's my brother's room. I led him across the hall. Pi followed at our heels because Derek was his new favorite person. This was not only because I'd thrown him into a box to transport him home, but also because I'd locked his cat door so that he was now trapped inside for the night. Although I doubted the existence of the wolf, I trusted Pi to win the battle. If it turned out I was wrong, I wasn't going to risk it. I threw open the door to Ethan's room. My little brother's in grad school overseas and doesn't really have anywhere to store his old stuff, so I told him I'd hold on to it until he lands somewhere permanently. Derek glanced appraisingly at Ether's old soccer trophies and plaid wallpaper. Yeah, I'll leave my things in here, he said, and slung his duffel bag down onto the single twin bed. But I'll probably still sleep on the couch downstairs. That way I can keep an eye on the doors. I hardly think that's necessary, but okay. I was trying not to show how nervous I was that he was standing so near the door to the one room in the house that I hadn't shown him yet. My bedroom. It wasn't like I hadn't entertained other male guests in there before, but none of them had ever carried me over the threshold because my knee hurt or cured that hurt with his touch. And he just announced that he would be sleeping on the couch, which was fine, just fine. I wasn't stressed at all by that fact, or the fact that Dinah kept texting me along with various fruits and vegetable-shaped emojis. Any action yet? Why did I have such nosy friends? Well, I'm sure that you'll want to get washed up before dinner, I said, showing him the Jack and Jill bathroom I'd battled over with my brother my whole life, and that, since I now owned it, I'd renovated into a luxurious spa complete with rainfall shower head. Derek didn't look the least impressed by my newly installed radiant floor heating or the subway tiles, however. He said, thanks, and disappeared into Ethan's room, closing the door behind him. Okay, then. By the time he reappeared downstairs, I was in my best silk pajama set and kimono, having my own quick shower in my parents' old bathroom. I'd also set the dining room table with Limoges dining ware that my mother had left behind, lit the candles and the silver candlesticks that my great Aunt Ruth had bequeathed me, and put Nina Simone records on my father's vintage turntable, and reapplied my lip gloss half a dozen times. When Derek saw this, he looked stunned, though I wasn't sure if it was because of my incredibly shiny lips or the romantic tablescape. What is all this? He asked. Dinner? I made the same motion with my hand that Vanna White made when she turned over the letters on the Wheel of Fortune. I wasn't sure if it was showing off the table or myself, but either way, Derek looked impressed. You didn't have to go to all this trouble. It wasn't any trouble. I always eat off 24-karat gold-trimmed vintage plates from France so that you have to wash by hand. Did you find everything that you need up there? I did, thanks. He certainly looked as if he had. He changed out of his black jeans and Henley into another pair of black jeans and a Henley. But these, just like the last, fit him like a glove. Would you like a cocktail? I asked in a huskier voice than I intended to, and then I cleared it. God, I sucked at seduction. Wine? Beer? What I'd really like is to get a look at your security system. Security system? The expression on his face might have been a smile, if he ever smiled. I know. Why would you have a security system? People in this town don't bother locking their doors, but I thought I'd ask. I told you, there's no crime in West Harbor, except for the usual stuff in the summer, like kids drinking on the beach or breaking into vacant homes, that kind of a thing. Jessica, you live a block from the beach. Yeah, but my home's not vacant, and I do lock my doors. I even sprinkled salt across the threshold like any decent witch. What about protection against non-supernatural entities? Who would want to break in here? I don't have anything worth stealing. Nobody wants Limoges anymore. Great Aunt Ruth's candlesticks, maybe. What about the book? He asked. What book? The one written by the local women, the grimoire the love spell came from? Oh, that book. Don't worry, I keep it in a safe space. No one will ever find it. Now Mark was texting me as well as Dinah. Use protection. You don't know where that filthy warlock has been. Besides, I don't know that Goody Fletcher was a local woman. I really needed to switch off my phone. My mom bought her book at an estate sale in East Harbor, but who knows where it's originally from? Dinah. Mark, how many times do I have to tell you that the term witch is gender neutral? Mark, you better hope for Jess's sake that he's not gender neutral. Have you ever researched her? Derek asked. No, I never bothered. Records from that time period are impossible to find. There was a flood that destroyed most of the town record. Yeah, I know, in the early 18th century. There was a fire that took out most of the town in the early 19th century, and I'm not even going to mention the smallpox epidemic in the 17th century or the influenza that wiped out half the population after the First World War. I hesitated as I headed for the wine fridge. What are you saying? You don't think that every 90 years or so Since it was settled by Europeans, there's a disaster of epic proportion that befalls West Harbor? Yeah, I do. And it's overdue for another one unless you and Esther can stop it. But if that was true, did it mean that the rift had nothing to do with me? What about all those people who'd nearly frozen to death on the interstate during the blizzard that Rosalie had summoned? Pop! I'd been tugging on the cork bottle of Pinot Noir and startled myself when it suddenly came free. But why? I asked, trying to sound casual. What did West Harbor's early settlers do to put a curse on the town? I poured 2 glasses of wine. If it's because they slaughtered or enslaved Native Americans, lots of towns in New England did that. Why aren't Hartford or Greenwich facing supernatural threats? How do you know they aren't? Thanks to the wall that I'd removed, I had a perfect view of him from my kitchen, prowling around the living room, dining room, and going up to each of my windows and making sure they were completely closed and locked secure. What he didn't know, of course, was that half the windows didn't open at all. The frames were so old that I couldn't find a carpenter who knew how to fix them. Well, obviously I don't know, but I think I would have heard about it. Why? You'd never heard about this one until I told you. Oh, yeah. You have a point. Another text came in. Dinah. What the hell, Jess? Why am I only just now hearing from my brother that your car got destroyed by hail at the school today and was towed by Hopkins Motors? Mark. Jess, did you make a certain someone mad again? I texted back, I cannot talk right now. I will call you later. Dinah. Jess, I don't like this. What do you know about this guy? Who is he even working for? Mark. Yeah, at least before he showed up, Rosalie wasn't actively trying to kill you. Is this usable, or is that woodpile outside just for show? Derek was kneeling down in front of my fireplace, looking up the flue. I crossed into the living room, holding both of the glasses of wine I'd poured. Yeah, of course the fireplace works. Why? Don't tell me you think a demon is going to come flying down the chimney. No, he said, and began to push his sleeves up enough to reveal that he had a tattoo on the inside of his right forearm, but not enough so that I could see what it was. It's just cold outside. I thought I might build a fire. Drinks in front of a crackling fire with Derek Winters. This was better than anything that had happened in my bedroom, better than anything that I'd ever fantasized about happening. Even if my friends might not be particularly thrilled with the idea. Be my guest, I said, trying my best to sound casual as I handed him one of the wine glasses. Is red okay? Yeah, thanks. Well then, I raised my glass, still trying to control my facial muscles. Be cool, do not smile too much. To the bringer of light! He clinked his glass to mine. May her Spanish homework go well. Damn it, I not only smiled, I laughed. Cheers! It looks like the next chapter is pretty short. I don't have my watch on. Does anyone know what time it is? Anybody? I don't have my watch. 9:47. Okay, I better go. Yeah, I gotta go. We'll read that chapter tomorrow. I'll try to get on earlier tomorrow so we can read too. I'll see you guys later. And I don't know what else. That's all. No worries at all. I will see you all on the flip side.